Okay, welcome to Yoga for Runners week 4 on healthy backs. So we're going to continue our exploration of how we support our backs. And we've done some work around release, we've done some work about stabilizing, we've done something around releasing. So hopefully you found something that might support you through your own particular experience of how your back functions while you're running or doing other sports, and when you're doing other activities, and when you're sitting or working in a different way. Okay, so this week we're going to kind of go through a process of kind of letting go. So it's a different way of releasing tension and getting a greater sense of support from the ground. We're going to revisit this idea of alignment in the body. And we're going to do some movements, some flow movements that involve work support for the whole body. So we did some of this last week. We're looking at ways of integrating whole body movement so that we can support the areas of our body that maybe require a little bit of extra support just by using, if you like, a variety of muscles and support systems within the whole body. Ultimately, running and a lot of sports are about finding that flow, finding that rhythm, finding that way to actually integrate the whole body and the breath. So we're kind of working alongside that. Okay, so I'm coming with my feet about hip distance apart now. I'm just finding my feet, so having a sense of the feet on the ground, a sense of feeling the legs and support from the legs, support from center, support through my spine, through my neck, and through and up to the crown of the head. Within the front body, the back body, and being conscious of the whole body standing, what that feels like. And the whole breathing body standing. Okay, so once we've got that awareness of body here and breathing body, we're just going to create some release for the body in this different way than we've done previously. It's allowing the weight to go very much through the heels. So we're going to sweep our arms up and come onto the balls of our feet. So there's some lengthening going on there, and then fairly quickly we're going to come back down onto our heels. We're going to take our arms up, extending up, and then release down. Let the arms this time just carry on their work and their release. And then again, this time breathing in if you can remember, and then out. And let the arms swing. Breathing in, and up, and out. So a bit more of a powerful breath if that feels safe to do so. So take a breath in, and so it's really allowing the release through the heels. Often we have our weight coming forward, we have more weight coming towards the balls of the feet. So this is also encouraging the weight to return back, as long as that feels safe again for the lower back. So if this kind of harsh landing is not safe for the lower back, then either just go up with the flow and down with a little bit more of a relaxed, light approach. But if you can just give this sense of release in the back, feel safe in doing that, then giving that a try. Okay, so we'll do one more. And just do that. Give a little bit of space, just check the back was okay. So in breath to reach up, and out breath, release. So it may help us shoulders release, it might help the whole body feel a little bit more contact, having more of a sense of contact with the ground. Okay, so we're going to do, again, if it's comfortable, a different Positioning for the feet, more belly dancer feet. So toes out and heels together. This time, hands, one hand on the chest, other hand on the chest, heart space. Giving you a reminder to have a sense of the sternum rising slightly, and then breathing in, coming up, and a double bounce as we come down. Breathing in, out, double bounce. Breathing in, out, double bounce. So a few more of these. And just be still for a moment so we can just ensure that we feel okay in the back, safe in the back. Check that we haven't started to claw in the toes. Keep the toes long or get the toes long again. Relax the shoulders. Just change the hands over. And we'll do 3 more if that felt safe for the back. So coming up onto the toes. And double bounce. Breathing in, out, and double bounce. And releasing the hands, getting feedback to what feels perhaps more comfortable. And just see how you feel in the body here. Rest release, so we're looking for shoulder release as well as sometimes when we release from the bottom, then the pelvis releases and the shoulders release. Okay, so more familiar for most of you, more of a diaphragm release. So I've got the feet again, broadly hip distance apart. Sweeping the arms up, but keeping my feet on the floor this time, and bending and swinging back. So in breath to come up, reach up and lengthen, out breath to bend the knees and bend at the hips. So finding the right breath work for you, it might be breathing out through the mouth, it might be breathing out through pursed lips, it might be doing quite a sound to get that sense of letting go again. There's more of a flow here, there's more of a rhythm here, there's more warming up the whole body, the joints in the whole body. There's lengthening as we go up and release as we come down. Lengthening as we go up, release as we come down. So about 3 more. And then just let the arms, again, find their own settled balance and into stillness. Again. Feeling the energy in the body, the warmth in the body. Checking out for those spots that might have appreciated that and those spots that might have taken a little bit of harder work and maybe might be tension there. So relaxing anywhere there's tension. Seeing as you stand here, how you kind of balance, it might be different than how you balanced when you started the practice. The weight may have gone back, to saying to the heels a little bit more, maybe more grounded through the legs. Okay. So going to lengthen in a different way. So see how we go with this one. So I'm going to step 1 foot forward, and so whichever leg's back. So It's my left side as far as you're concerned in terms of the viewer. I'm going to swing that arm forward and back. And at some point, I'm going to allow the back heel to come off as I come forward. And rather than just kind of letting the arm completely pull you forward, feel like the whole body lengthens. The whole body lengthens. The whole body lengthens. And there's some form of, integration or connection between the top hand and the bottom foot, all the way down that side body as it lengthens. You want to look at the hand as it goes forward and goes back. Try that. That feels disorientating. Then leave that out. So there's a little bit of work in that back foot. So it's kind of encouraging that movement forward, but safe move forward, hopefully. So about 3 more on this first side. And stepping back. So everything kind of settle again. Important to have these mini pauses so we know what's happening in the body, how it feels. And what tends to happen is there's a kind of process of the body working out what's going on. And there might be release or a change in the body just a few moments after the movement has done. And we have to lose that. We have to go on and then start to move the body in another way very quickly. And we don't get that kind of melting or releasing in the muscles, or that sense of reconnected in a different way. So opposite foot forward. So I'm bending at that front knee, so I'm actually taking weight forward here. And I just start by seeing how it is to take the opposite arm back. And then allow the back foot to come, the back heel to release and peel off. I get more of a sense of lift and length, but I'm not just throwing myself forward. There's a link with the leg, the waist, the pelvis, the armpit, the whole sides body. And if you want to use the breath, breathing in to go up and out to come back. If you just want the rhythm, that's just as good, it's different. If you want to use the focus of the eyes on the hand back behind you and forward, you could try that. Doesn't feel safe or supportive, then leave that one out. Lengthening away each time and returning to the ground. So a couple more times. Let the arm settle. Let the breath settle. Let the body calm down and settle. Feel the breath in the whole body. So that generates both energy and warmth in the body. Okay. So we're just going to go through a process of just reminding ourselves of what's going on in these 3 key areas in terms of that ability to find balance between the pelvis, the rib cage, and the head. So I know for me, I mentioned before, it's the head. It is the rib cage as well for me, but it's particularly the head. Probably I'm out also on the pelvis, because if one is not in balance, then they're all likely to be slightly off balance. So taking our position at the lowest point on the hands on the pelvis, and just allowing yourself to tip the pelvis forward as if you're tipping water out of up to the pelvic bowl. So you feel like your bottom feels like it's sort of stretched away from you. And then the bottom's tucking under as you take the pelvis back. So just be interested in the scope there. And particularly if you're creating the arch, and you bring the pelvis forward, if that feels tender or harsh, then you don't go back into it, you just kind of hold off a little bit. So you're just checking freedom and space here. So the pelvis comes forward, the belly comes out a little bit, that's an in breath. You tip back, belly comes in a little bit, that's an out breath. And then just release, and that may or may not feel different in the pelvis. Yes, so we could have done little movements until we found the center, or we could just open up that space a little bit more and just see where we land when we stand. Okay, so the rib cage is going to be balanced above the pelvis, but let's just release the rib cage a little bit more. So it's kind of, it circles, but it's kind of from the rib cage. Often we kind of do that more from the pelvis, so it's a slightly exaggerated move to circuit round with the rib cage, so we can almost feel space created at the side ribs for the diaphragm as we find our way around. And then opposite direction. Finding the space as much as you can. You're probably more on the side than you will at the back and the front. And then relax the arms down, give the arms and the fingers and the elbows a little bit of a shake out. Breath out if that's comfortable. And then again, just be still. So we've played around, if you like, with the pelvis, tilts forward and back. We've got greater awareness of the rib cage from doing those circuits and release for the diaphragm a little bit. So we want pelvis balanced, center of gravity. We want rib cage balanced, center of gravity. Pelvis below rib cage. Head, time. So taking the hands, interlocking the fingers and placing that just at the kind of base of the skull. So more where the align with the connection between the spine and the skull is. See if you're comfortable keeping the elbows back, you may or you may not be. And create a little bit of a lift. So the neck's long and there's a feeling of a slight uplift under the skull, as long as that feels safe. If you do that, you might bring your belly in because there's that sense of length through the body. And keeping that sense of length, we're just going to rotate in one direction, keeping that length, back to center, and rotating in the other direction, and back to center, second time, first side, rotating with that sense of extension through the spine. And over to the second side, second time. And back to center. Third time, if you feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable, then just leaving it out. So first side, center, and second side. And Gently release the head, release the arms, down to the side. So see if this now makes any more sense. It may or it may not. So this idea of pelvis and above, balanced, the rib cage, and above that, the skull. You might be much more aware of the skull, might be much more aware of the rib cage than you were when you started. You might be much more aware of the pelvis. So bringing our body into greater awareness, finding ways to do that, will help this alignment. Yeah. Let's see how the sense of the shoulders dropping down, releasing down, away from the ears, sense of the sternum, a little bit of an uplift without sticking out through the rib cage. And breathing. So if you feel that sense of length through the spine now, without feeling any harshness through the muscles or through the structure of the spine. Softening the belly and the lower back as much as you need to get comfortable. Okay. So just bringing one knee forward up and the other knee up. So we're going to be moving into the area of squats again, as we did last week. Slightly different way. Approach is with the arms and the shoulders this week. Okay. So taking the feet fairly wide, so shoulder distance, kind of the width of the mat. If you've got them, if you're not pointing more towards the shorter end of the mat, and create a fist in one hand, and then just place that in the palm of the opposite hand. So we'll just press the fist into the wrist and just see how that feels for the neck and the shoulder blades, and then release with that, still keeping the fist there, but release the tension. Okay. So we need enough here to feel a sense of stability in the shoulders, but we don't need to power our way through. So you just find what's feeling like you're connected, so you can kind of press the hand, fist into the hand, and just see what happens as you press it in and what happens as you release it away. You might feel that the most comfortable, supportive place is to have it, at the most relaxed. You might find you want to give a little bit of power or connection, resistance. So you choose what makes sense for your body. And we've got the knees slightly bent here already, but we're going to drop down a little bit more. So the knees go out over the toes. But if the knees don't feel safe, if they're just feeling unstable at all here, then keep the bend minimal. So we don't want the shoulders to kind of lock, but we want them to be stable. Particularly, we don't want them locked up here, we want them released down. So just reminding yourself. You might want to use the breath. Out breath to go down, in breath to come up. So see if you can find a little bit further now. And that might mean you need to do something different with the fist connection, hand connection. So it's almost like you're lowering down from your butt and you're pushing up from your feet. You're lowering straight down, maybe from the crown down, even though your spine will be kind of coming forward. So one more time, coming down. push up through the feet and the legs, get the legs working. Let's take a break. You're going to go down again, but not quite so many times. So what we would have done is we would have automatically had our fist being a dominant hand. So we're going to change that link over. So we're going to have fist in the opposite hand and the cup of the hand or in the palm of the hand. And again, just working out how this feels. It might feel very different, very strange. So getting a bit more familiar with what it's like to press the fist in towards the palm and what that does for the shoulders. Does it take them up? Does it bring them down? Does it make them stable? And then find that happy place that you feel like, okay, I've got enough stability without creating force or tension or pushing so hard that I'm actually cutting the breath off. Get the feet wide again. And if you're going to feel comfortable doing a second round, and out breath to descend. So if you're going down and you're rounding your back, don't need to worry. We're not taking kind of weight. We were doing it with weight. We need to make sure the back didn't round here. But if it rounds, it rounds. As you take the foot down and the whole of the spine from the tail through to the crown of the head. Just feeling the back of the body, using the feet and the legs to bring you up. We'll do one more, shoulders down. And we're back up to safety. We can release the fingers and hands and find our way back to pause again for a moment. Release the breath. How's the legs feel now? How's the feet feel? So much more work has been going on down there, but we were, by using the hand connection, starting to enliven and connect through the upper body as well. So it's about keeping the chest open here, keeping that space there. We talked about, often our shoulders coming forward, whether that's in running or in cycling or in our everyday on devices kind of positioning. So this ability to drop the shoulders to open across the front of the collarbones is a really important reminder. We don't do it very much in our day. Okay, so we're going to do these body movements where we're kind of going down to a crawl type position, and we're going to add some additional sequences to that. So it's about using the whole body for these movements. So it's really good to integrate whole body movements and kind of key, functional movement. Really. It might not look very functional, but it is. So I'm coming just so I've got enough space to be able to take the hands down to work my way forward. So we did this last week. So it isn't in the same squat position. It's just feet probably hip distance or maybe slightly wide if that feels more stable. And from here, we're going to take the left hand down as if we just place it on the floor. We then take the right hand down and we drift forward onto our toes on the balls of the feet to rock forward. We come back, firstly using the right hand and the left hand to take the heels back. We use the legs as much as we can to find our way up, and then let's lengthen up. Coming back down, so opposite hand, the right hand comes down, the left hand goes slightly further forward as we rock forward towards the left hand, back to the right hand, and with control come back and come up and extend up. Coming down, so left hand down, just
Just placing that in front of us, right hand further forward to rock forward with the body. From right hand to left hand to heels to bottom, using the legs and extend up. And just take a break for a moment. Arms down. Relax the shoulders and the jaw. Okay, so we're going to add a movement, a second movement of sequence. So we're going to come down with the left hand. We're going to come over and forward with the right hand and rock forward. Then as we rock back, we're going to bring the forward hand, so that's the left hand, off the floor into a fist and pull back and look back. Push back with the extended hand. Keep that going to get us up and then lengthen up to that side. Release the hand down, just take a break. Okay, so hopefully you could see, hopefully you've got that, but we'll have more times to try it out. So I'll do it 3 times on each side. So we'll go to the other side. So coming down with the right hand, left hand forward and rock forward. Take the right hand away into a fist, bring back with the shoulder, looking slightly up and out to the side. Push back with the right hand. Get yourself up and then extend up with the arm. And relax the hand down. First side, coming down, placing the left hand down, placing the right hand further forward, rock forward. As you rock back, bring the left hand off the floor into a fist, take the elbow back and look back, push off with the right to get yourself back, coming up, extending up. And release. So coming down now with the right hand, placing it down, left hand, placing it down, rocking forward. Right hand into a fist, elbow back, giving that sense of work through the top body. Push back with the left hand and extend up with the right hand and bring down and release. Going down with the left hand, right hand forward, weight forward. Coming back from the right hand, releasing the left hand, fist, open the chest over to that left side, push back and release up and forward. See how it feels in the shoulders. See how it feels in the legs. See how it feels in the side body. And any little niggles be aware of if you need to take a break or do something different for a moment. The breath come back if you were losing it while you're concentrating. So go on to the third movement. We might come back to them later. We'll see how time goes. So we're going to come down with the left. I need to watch this. Coming forward with the right and coming forward. Bending both the elbows slightly as if you're descending. You will be descending. Push back with both. Then from right hand to the left hand to get your heels down, your bottom down, using your feet to come up and float arms, extend arms up. Coming back down, right arm down, left arm further forward, rock forward, bend down, bend through the elbows, take your weight forward, press off from the left, rest off from the right, heels down, bottom down, and then use the legs to extend up and reach up. And going down with the left hand, right hand, rock forward, bend elbows, push up, push back, bottom down, legs used to get you up and extend. Coming down, right hand, left hand forward, rock forward, bend elbows, push back, bottom down, use legs, extend up, and reach up, and just relax the arms down. So just let body settle again, how the shoulders, how the arms come away from the shoulders, how connected do the arms feel into the shoulders, into the centre body. How are the feet and the legs, how do the legs feel connected into the centre of the body. So we're doing work with arms, with legs, pushing into the ground, pushing away from the ground. So, we're just going to go down in order to come onto all fours. So we're not going to bring ourselves back up. We're going to come down onto all fours. From all fours, we're going to rock back and forth between bottom going back and shoulders coming over to wrists. I'm going to work our way up into down dog, plank, side plank. Just so you kind of know direction of travel for those of you familiar with those positions. So coming down, you can reach with one hand and the other hand, and then just come into a place where you can get the knees down to the floor. Let's untuck the toes if that's possible for you. So initially your shoulders are just above the wrists, fingers are gently separated, the knees are hip distance apart. And just let the hips kind of go over to one side, come back to centre and go over to the other side. So if you can sit down slightly onto each side, there may be space, there may not be. This earlier on in the day, and there wasn't, and now there is. Try not to collapse in the arms, not collapsing in the chest, keeping the crown of the head broadly forward. So obviously, I might need some more support for underneath the knees if you realise now you're down. So once you get back into neutral, broadly equal on both sides, if you do need something in front of the knees, but we're actually going to be going up quite a lot here from here. So hands slightly further forward than where they were before, so there's a little bit of a slope from the wrists up to the shoulders. And tucking, I just feel like it needs a little bit more space than taking the knees back. So I'm going to take my toes underneath, and I'm going to let the shoulders come forward, and then I'm going to let the bottom go back to where the bottom goes back to, lengthening through the spine, lengthening through the arms, coming forward, pressing down to keep that length and that work going on underneath the collarbones, front of the chest. Okay. So next time we go back, we're going to take the knees off the floor and just get into kind of a puppy dog. You just have the knees really bent as you push back with the hands, take the bottom back, and then come forward back onto the knees. Go back again with the bottom back. So we're just going to alternate between for a few goes. Come forward on the in-breath. Back on the out-breath, taking the knees off the floor, bum upwards. Keeping the knees bent as you need to. Coming back onto your knees. Coming forward with the shoulders, back with the bottom staying down, just lengthening this time. So this time we're going to come up and we're going to go up into downward dog and then to plank. So going up and back into dog. And then coming over the shoulders to over the shoulders to your wrists. Find your way back into downward dog. Come forward into plank. Go back into downward facing dog. And come down to your knees. Go back with your bottom. If you manage to keep going, keep going. If you can't, push the wrists, just need a break. Just take the break. Forward with shoulders over to wrists. Back again up to downward facing dog. Roll over into plank. Forward. Roll back into downward facing dog. Just create a little bit more space between the feet so that you can then go over into side plank. So I've just got my feet, one foot in front of the other. Coming back down into plank. Over onto your opposite side, sense of length. Back into plank. Rolling back into downward facing dog. Coming down onto your knees and coming forward onto your back. Just adjust my clothing. So, finding your way to stacking the hands, and if you're comfortable with the forehead down, have the forehead down onto the hands. Shoulders relax as much as they can here. Let the jaw relax, eyes relax, face, muscles relax. Let the breath come back. Feel the weight of the front body on the ground. And allowing that to release after the work that you've done through that process of working our way up into down dog to plank to side plank. Okay, so from here, I want you to release the head. Again, need a slight adjustment here. Release the head down to the floor. Release the arms out behind you and just stack the back of the hand onto kind of the top of the bottom, if you like, and then the other hand on top of the palm of the bottom hand. Let the shoulders move away from the ground. And just start to feel the breath. Activate the legs here a little bit, the butt a little bit, creating any tension in the lower back or minimizing any tension in the lower back. Want strength there, but not tension or pain or difficulty there, crunching. And a bit more sense of pressing down through the pubis now. That's comfortable. And then on an in-breath, just raise the head and the legs off the floor. And out breath, just relax down. In breath again, engage legs, glutes, bring shoulders, head, and legs off the ground for a moment, and breathe out and relax again. One more time, breathing in, we're pressing down through the pubis, extending through the spine as the head comes off and the legs come off the floor, and relaxing down. Release one arm, release the other arm. And just finding a comfortable place for the hands if you can. Shoulders might feel different now. Okay, so from what we've done, we have hopefully created a bit more length anyway through the legs. So we'll feel quite long here in the body, and hopefully quite a lot of the leg feeling connected with the ground. Okay, so we're going to bend the right knee, so the sole of the foot heads towards the ceiling. And then we're just doing those circles that we did last week, so just creating a circle. And because we've done quite a lot of work already, then just seeing if that's actually helped that work and release in the hip now, or not. So is it clunky, clicky? Is it an easy, smooth journey? Or is it tight and difficult, or just gets locked in certain places? So we're looking to release the knee, release the hip, releasing the back of the thigh and the hamstrings, back of the butt after doing a little bit of work there, and the butt, quite a lot of work with glutes without perhaps giving you any, very little direct tension to that. So circling the other way. Seeing if this is as easeful, so looking for ease and rhythm. Not too fast, not too slow. Smoothness, looking for release in the hip, butt, hamstrings, calves soft. Okay, and release that leg down. So you might have even more length potentially than we had before. More sense generally of length through the whole body. So second side now, just bending that left knee, sole of the foot towards the ceiling, and then circle the way that makes sense to the body, the way you automatically choose. We'll see how that is for the knee, back of the thigh, the hip. And just what freedom you have in the hip to do those circles. Above, relax and release, lower back, release. As you create those circles just with the rhythm, just with the flow. And then opposite direction, see how things are going there, whether it gets easier each time you go around, or whether there's a little bit of stickiness. And release the second leg down. Again, feeling the length through the body. And relaxing any tension in the head, the neck, jaw, shoulders, the wrists. Okay, so we're going to bend the right knee again with the sole of the foot pointing towards the ceiling. Just look behind you and just check where your toes are going. So my little toes going out, so I'm trying to get it so that the heel and the toes are in line, as long as that doesn't create tension, too much tension in the knee or the hip. If it does, then just stay where you were, otherwise see if you can find some alignment. So to the count of 3, you're just going to press the thigh a little bit more into the ground. And then you're going to release the thigh off the floor. Then you're going to hold it for a count of 3. And then you're going to release the thigh back down. And relax the body, but keep the foot in position. So pressing down, 1, 2, 3. Release the thigh off the floor, tense over, foot more towards the ceiling. You get to where you get to, and count 3 here. And relax the leg down with control, slowly, slowly, slowly. And relax everything. Switch the foot off and everything else has been working there. Again, pressing down for 1, 2, 3. Release the leg off the floor. Hold for 1, 2, 3. And release slowly down. Relax that leg completely down now, extending through that leg. Just roll from hip point to hip point, from thigh to thigh, just to loosen in the hip around the bottom. And release the out breath. So then second side, just look behind you, check where the toes are going, and align if you can. Pressing down the thigh for 1, 2, 3. Releasing the thigh off the floor, so the foot going upwards. Hold for 1, 2, 3. Gently release the leg all the way down. Relax then that side of the body. Second time, pressing down for 3, 2, 1. Releasing the thigh off the floor. And hold in for 3, 2, 1. Release slowly the thigh back down. And relax. One final time, pressing down. 1, 2, 3. Releasing the thigh from the floor. Hold in. 3, 2, 1. And slowly releasing the thigh down. Allow the leg then to lengthen. Really let the belly expand to support the lower back. And we're going to come up, so releasing the hands underneath the shoulders. So the toes under, press down to come up onto all fours. Okay, so from here, just to ensure the back's safe again, I'm just going to round the back into that cat position. Slightly dip the belly now, take the chest forward and look forward. Out breath, bring the belly in, bring the crown of the head down to create that round cat position. Dip the belly, bring the chest forward, look forward. So just moving betwixt in between, out breath to create the cat, and technically in breath to come forward to cow position. So a couple more on your own time. And coming to sitting. Okay. Just arriving in sitting position for a moment. Can collapse and then extend and collapse and extend through the spine. Okay, so going to work. It's a little bit trickier doing it this way, but for now, I'll see how we go with this one. So extending one leg away, and then we use the heel as our starting point. We're bringing the heel up to the center so the knee goes out, and then we're taking the heel slightly out to the side and back. Then you realize you broadly created a kind of oval shape with the heel. Knee goes out to the side, knee comes in, knee goes out to the side. feet comes in. So there is an easy way. The easy way is to put socks on and do this on a solid floor. Just for this time, we'll just see if we can follow it this way around. Won't lose much space. Going the opposite way around now, so the heel goes in the other direction. There's going to be a light touch off. You're going to get the mat all in a bit of a mess. It comes in, it goes out, and extend the leg away. Okay, if you need to come onto a different position for your hands, you go onto knuckles. So opposite leg, just let that extend away and start to create this knee in, knee out, this circuit for the heel. And in the opposite direction, within the space that you have, just let the heel circle, or an oval shape really. So we're trying to get a little bit of release for the hips. So coming back, got my knees bent, got my heels on the floor. I'm just trying to get a sensible lift here. Length through the crown of the head. Bring the heels further together, further up towards the butt, hands on the calves. And just finding a position that you feel you can perhaps lift the feet off the floor. Keeping the length if you can through the spine, and you can just maybe just move the feet forward and back. See how that is. Bring the knees together, get a bit more stability. Take the knees slightly apart. So knees together, knees slightly apart. Knees together and just keep them together for a moment. Sense of pressing down through the butt to extend up. Shoulders down, neck free. Breathing. To get the feet back to the floor. Well done. Okay, so going to come onto our back. Matthew, please, line up. Okay, so coming down, we're going to do more restful work to release the back. Hopefully now. So feet on the ground, knees bent, arms by your side. The body releasing to the floor. See how you feel in your lower back here. So how much you feel like it's lengthened, how soft it might feel, how troubled it might feel. What points meet the floor? Where does the pelvis meet the floor? How much of an arch do you have in the lower back? How free do you feel in your mid back, your upper back, your neck? So from here, just doing a little bit of arch and flatten. So just getting a little bit of arch in the lower back and then flatten it down to the floor. Arch on the in-breath, the belly swells a little bit. Out breath, the back descends down. So how you're going with that. So not overarching if there's tension in the lower back. Either keep to neutral or minimize the arch and really relax down into the back into the floor if it's, as long as that again feels safe. For most people that will do. So a release valve for most of us. And just go back into what you think your new neutral is. So make sure the heels are not too far away from the butt. We're going to go into bridge, but we're just going to have a rolling bridge. So that means that we arch, then we flat, we take the butt off the floor, we come back down, we arch, we then take the lower back. Next time we go up, we'll take up to kind of the rib cage area. So we work our way up in 3 or 4 stages, and then we work our way down again. So breathing in and just create a bit more of an arch if that's comfortable. Out breath, take the lower back down and pick the butt off the floor. Return the butt to the floor and create an arch on the in breath. Out breath, lower the back down and take the butt and the lower back off the floor. Lowering the back gentle down as you roll it. Create the in breath to create the arch. Out breath to create lower back into the floor. Pick the butt off the lower back and come up to broadly around where the base of the rib cage is, maybe a little bit lower. Roll the back down slowly, 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 really rolling it down. Create the arch on the in breath. Flatten on the out breath. Picking the back up a little bit more this time, so maybe to the base of the shoulder blades. Roll down. Each bit of the spine. Reach you down. Create that arch on the in breath. Out breath. Come up. This time coming up to wherever your maximum is. Rolling down. And again, coming up all the way to the same place, so to your kind of maximum for now. And roll down. So then when we just come in reverse, so we'll come to base of the shoulder blades on the next one, so find your own way there. Base of the shoulder blades, so you've got more weight down on your upper back. Rolling down, create the arch. Do the rib cage area next, so you're not coming very far off. And down. Next time is just bringing up the lower back and butt off the floor. Rolling down. And the last time will be just taking the butt off the floor. That's all. And relaxing at the end of that rolling session. And just let the knees now drift over to the right slightly without going to the floor. So they just go where they go by giving weight to your right side of your butt, right hip. And then you get yourself back into neutral, back onto both sides of the pelvis, and you float over to the opposite side. Away off the floor, giving weight on that side. And back to center. Extending the legs away. And just being interested in how you land now, how the body feels. So we didn't start in this position, so we haven't got a direct comparison to make. Just see how long you feel in the legs, how long you feel through the spine. How open you feel in the chest and release down through the shoulder blades. Notice the weight on the arms, contact points, and where the palms are, whether they're facing up, down, or in towards the body. Okay, so taking the hands just onto the belly for a moment and feeling the belly breath. So we're going to just regulate the breath a little bit now, so control the breath a little bit. So we're going to count the in breath for a count of 4 and the out breath for a count of 4. So Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Just taking a break here from counting. So the next time, we're going to see if we can actually go to 6. If you feel 5's better for you, that you can manage 5 better, then you go to 5. 5 doesn't work, you go back to 4. You're taking a breath in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And relax. So just taking the hands to the sides of the ribs if that's comfortable for the elbows here. So we're going to take a breath in for 4, and just see if you get that, and the breath out for 4, and just see if you get that sense of the swelling outwards for the rib cage and relax it in. So when you're ready, taking a breath in, 2, 3, 4, taking a breath out, 2, 3, 4, taking a breath in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, and relaxing. So we'll see if we can go to 6 or 5 or stick with 4. So taking an in breath, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And relax. Relax the arms wherever you want the arms, so by your side or on your belly. And just relax the whole body now. And let the breath just go to normal, to neutral. It's looking after itself. So you can just follow the coming and going of the breath now if you're comfortable to do so. And imagining that kind of breeze softly coming up the inside of the spine from tail to connection with the spine, with the skull, and then breathing out from top of the cervical spine on the outside back to tail. So just following that through, if you can imagine that circuit of the breath, in breath up to the center, out breath down to the back. Keeping the breath light and natural if you can. Softening, lightening the body, relaxing and letting go. Just in the energy change, it's just in the sense in the body, the vibration. You might sense the aliveness throughout the body. So just sitting with that, lying with that, shall say, for a little bit longer. I'll leave you quiet for a moment or two and then I'll ring the bells. So if you can comfortably lie there, please do. If you need to move to be comfortable, please do. So just having a sense of the body at the end of the session. How the spine feels, how the muscles of the back feel, how the whole body feels. And then just moving the head from side to side, maybe rocking it back and forth, just gently, getting the weight in the back of the skull. And then, when you're still, just bringing the knees into the chest, rocking in circles on your lower back if that's comfortable, or side to side, just loosening up anywhere you need to loosen up, have a yawn. Shake the legs and the arms out in the air. And rolling over to your side to come up to sitting to finish there. So any questions about the back? Things are working, things are not working, and we'll continue next week with week 5 of Healthy Backs. So take care and see you next week. Happy running, happy exercise. Till then.